We riding around on a late night. Got no playlist, just a radio on. Parents want it back by midnight. It's already
Welcome
past
back,
1
episode
o'clock.
2 of Stealing Home, a baseball brother-sister podcast where we talk about everything baseball, the players, the teams, the games, everything surrounding it. No running, no, we're not going to actually steal home on this podcast, but this is my sister Lisa, baseball expert here locally in the family.
And this is my brother, Anthony, who played softball for 2 years in elementary school and thinks he knows everything.
Yeah, exactly. So hope you guys enjoy episode 2 here as we just get it kicked off. A lot of big playoff baseball. I guess a new clean slate of these series that just started.
Yeah.
I know she watched a game.
I
everyone.
did.
I watched all of them. She watched at least one that I know of. You might have watched more. Probably not.
I watched the one that I live tweeted for this show. So if you're ever looking for live content, check out our Twitter.
And it's her driving the car
hot
on that
takes.
one. Yeah, real hot takes. A lot of can of corns. A lot of can of corns.
I am obsessed with can of corns. Once you know what that means, you can't not see it. That's the crazy thing about canned corn. It's like it's like someone showed you a can of corn and was like, "This is what this is," and now you're like, "It's everywhere. Like it's stocking all the shelves. It's all I see."
I feel like maybe actually no one who's watching this right now probably has. They know what like a can of corn is in baseball, but have no idea what you're talking about right now with the Twitter. But we'll get to it later.
Check out Twitter.
Worry. Yeah, don't worry. It'll be looped back in later, so don't feel lost and be like, "What the hell? I thought this was a baseball podcast. We're talking about groceries right now."
It is.
Yeah, so I guess we can I guess we just get things started. I know Rangers Orioles is the first slate series.
So remind me, who did we have?
You wanted so we made predictions. You wanted the Texas Showdown.
Standoff. Yeah.
She wanted the Texas high noon standoff brought to you by Lone Depot, all that stuff.
Yeah.
She wanted Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. So this is looking good for you.
Yeah, we're headed that way.
Yeah, because the Astros are actually playing right now against the Twins, and we'll talk about them later.
Okay.
But the Rangers are up 2-0 on the Orioles. I'll just kick a quick recap, I guess, with this series.
Yeah, go ahead.
So pretty much the story leading up to this series were two great offenses. You got the Rangers, who can just absolutely rake. The Orioles can rake too. The Rangers are filled with kind of these seasoned stars like Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, like MVP caliber guys. And the Orioles have a young core group of people like Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, even Cedric Mullins. You know all these people.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
and
the Birds.
Binder Clip, him too. He's one of my favorites.
Binder Clip, sure.
These names are great.
She tweeted about baseball names for about an hour while watching her game. Just rating names. Like you're supposed to watch the game and like, wow, it's a great play.
8 out of Gunnar Henderson.
10 out of 10 name.
7 out of 10 baseball name.
Yeah, baseball
for sure.
guy name.
Would have only been better if he like served some time. Because then I'm like, Gunnar, is that his name or is that what he was?
Would be better if he was on the Rangers because, you know, like
I guess, yeah.
Shooter.
Keep going.
All right, Shooter McGraw, like Sheriff, whatever. There's actually a reliever with the last name Sheriff.
Okay. Does he play for the Rangers?
No. He might. I don't know what he does. He used to play for the Rays.
Tell me what happened.
Anyways, in this series, though, obviously the Rangers are up 2-0 against the Orioles. In Game 1, it was 3-2 Rangers. Kind of looks like a little bit of a lull from the Orioles because they had the bye to wait for the Rangers to defeat the Rays and then play them.
So the Rangers,
the Rangers have been playing every day. The Orioles had to, I guess, wait for the Rangers to get to them. Slow bats from the Orioles, though, but the Rangers ended up winning 3-2. Kyle Bradish, starting pitcher for the Orioles, do a great game. He got pulled early, though, 84 pitches. They were down 2-0, I think, or 2-1 when they pulled him.
Okay.
But, I mean, he's in the fifth inning. He got pulled in the fifth inning, had only 84 pitches, 9 strikeouts through 5 innings. The guy was shoving. I don't know how you feel about leaving him in there a little bit longer.
We'll talk more about that in another game. I think it's more important later.
It definitely is.
Comes up again.
You read the notes. She read the notes. It's a common thing
I didn't read the notes.
She didn't read the notes.
I watched the game.
You did watch a game.
I did watch a game, guys.
Okay, yeah. But, again, 3-2. Rangers in the 8th inning of Game 1 put in Aroldis Chapman, who's a guy who just throws 100 miles an hour.
10 out of 10 name.
Aroldis Chapman.
Absolutely.
Baseball name. But kind of bendy. Walked 2 guys. When I say bendy, like, he bent but didn't break, if that makes sense.
Love that, yeah.
A lot of guys on kind of like, if you're a Rangers fan.
A lot of guys don't stretch. It's really important. You got to stay flexible.
If you're a Rangers fan, you're definitely sweating it out in that 8th inning, kind of like, oh, man, Aroldis Chapman's going to blow the game again because their bullpen's blown the game so many times in the regular season. So Aroldis Chapman's in the game. He walks 2 batters. It's like, oh, here we go again if you're a Rangers fan. Not this time, though. Aroldis Chapman held the wall, I guess is what you would say. He held the line. And Leclerc, the closing pitcher for the Rangers, ended up shutting the door. That was game one. The big story at the end of game one, though, Gunnar Henderson leads off the ninth of a 3-2 game in Camden Yards, leads off the ninth with a hit, ends up getting caught stealing, trying to take second base.
Ooh.
Right? So it's like, oh, he got a hit, leadoff runner's on, down 1 run.
That's always
nobody
tough.
Out.
I feel like you always think about like stealing. You always think you're actually gonna get the base.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you get it, it's like
it's great. It's the best thing ever.
If you don't,
now
you're an idiot. Like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah, why'd you go?
Exactly. And they asked that, why'd you go? And they were saying, oh, it's a communication problem.
Okay.
And that's kind of like, oh, well, yeah, they didn't communicate to him not to steal.
I can see the problem.
It came out later, though, what actually happened was it was a hit and run. And the hitter missed the sign. You know what a hit and run is?
No.
Okay, so a hit and run.
Oh, is if the guy hits the ball, just run?
No, not that. So a hit and run, you're going to be stealing. Straight steal, not a straight steal, but you're stealing from first base.
Okay.
And no matter where the pitch is at as a hitter, you're going to swing at it to try to put the ball in play. Typically, when the runner steals, someone's going to cover second base. Mm-hmm. It leaves a hole open in the infield, so you just have to tap it through that hole, hit it, base hit, and then you can go from first to third.
Okay.
That was the sign. They were supposed to do that. The batter missed it. He just took a pitch down the middle.
So then that leaves it open.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And I thought that too, because technically you're supposed to. They teach you when you're doing a straight steal, you're taking your lead and you go.
You just bolt.
You straight line straight to second. Don't even worry about what's going on unless you hear contact. Gunnar Henderson, though, they teach this for a hit and run. When you're stealing during a hit and run, you go and then halfway through you peek.
Because you want to be able to turn that corner.
Well, you want to see because he's supposed to swing.
Right.
So you got to see where the ball's going to go.
Yeah.
If it's in the air, you got to tag up.
Right.
If it's on the ground and through a hole, just keep going. You don't got to wait for the third base.
Exactly, right.
So I saw him peek, and I was like, is this like usually that's a hit and run that he peeks.
Well, then he was right. It was a miscommunication, and good for him for not throwing someone under the bus.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it would have been really easy to just be like, well, it was supposed to be this.
Buddy fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
And the person who fucked up. His name's Aaron Hicks. And he's kind of like the butt end of a joke. He was on the Yankees, and he wasn't bad.
That name sounds familiar.
Aaron Hicks. Yeah, he was an outfielder. And he was on the Yankees, but he wasn't playing as well, and the Yankees fans were just kind of chewing into him. And then they sent him to Baltimore. He had a few big hits when they first sent him to Baltimore, and it's like, oh, fuck, he didn't do that for us, you know? But that was him who fucked up. So, again, the people started making fun.
That sucks.
Let's jump to game 2, though. Baseball's romantic. How can you not like this? So Aaron Hicks messes up with the hit and run. He immediately gets a chance to redeem himself with the bases loaded in a 0-0 game. And he's hitting, gets a base hit, drives in 2 runs. Baltimore takes a 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
Awesome. Camden Yards going crazy. Didn't matter. The Rangers put up like 10 runs immediately right after that. It was 5-2. And then a Mitch Garver grand slam with the bases loaded. Ends up making it 9-2 after a while.
High-scoring game, though.
10-2. It was 10-2 early. High-scoring game, yeah. It didn't finish 10-2. The Orioles were clawing back on that one. So they almost came back. Ended up being 11-8. Obviously, Mitch Garver.
It's almost like 20 runs.
Yeah,
like, you don't see that.
A borderline football score.
It's like a whole. That could be a whole series score.
Yeah, and really, obviously Rangers won 11-8 again. The big thing here is just walks on the Orioles. Like the Orioles just had so many walks. They started their starting pitcher Grayson Rodriguez, who's a rookie. You can't win a game allowing 11 runs, and the way they allowed it just with 11 walks. I mean, you're giving them free base runners.
That's what's always been really interesting to me about baseball as a sport versus other sport. It's like the only one where you can actually like, I mean, I guess in football you can throw like an interception or something, and that would kind of be the same. But I mean, I've seen
like giving them free passes.
Yeah, like I mean, in baseball you'll see a pitcher potentially even walk like 3 people. You got bases loaded now. They get one hit,
that's 2 runs.
Or you walk again, and now they have a full run, and they didn't have to do anything. Like baseball's the only real sport like that, you know. Let me know if you disagree. Give
Football,
me a comparison.
you can definitely give them
like
the ball.
Said, the interception, interception, but then they get it immediately and they got to go. Yeah. You could be there all inning, just screwing yourself over.
Well, yeah. No,
yeah,
I guess,
what happened.
And that's really what happened. Yeah, I was gonna say that's really what happened with the Orioles. I mean, you walk so many people and you let them get on base. And like I said, 2 lineups that can hit. One lineup got 11 walks and they scored 11 runs. The other one didn't get as many walks and they still put up 8 runs. But it's like,
but 11. you know those other
Yeah.
Who knows where those other 4 came from?
And if you're a Rangers fan, you're like, thank God we scored 11 runs because our bullpen, like, they gave up 8 runs. Like, it was 10-2.
Yeah.
And it's like, 10-2, game's over. No, not against the Orioles and not with that bullpen that the Rangers have over there. So they're like, score 20, we need more. All right, we need to pad this bullpen. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not sure if you even watched any highlights of that series, but it's 2-0 Rangers. They play tonight because we're filming this on Tuesday night.
So 1 more win and
Rangers is
best
3 out of 5, yeah.
Which is 1 half of my Texas standout.
Showdown. We're almost there for the Texas High
I've
Showdown.
never been a bigger Rangers fan.
Well, I'm rooting for the Orioles because I had them winning. And I think
good luck, bud.
My predictions might be cancer because everyone I picked is like just not winning at all. Actually, not true.
Is that going to be like the kiss of death? It's like the actual baseball guy picks you and now you're screwed?
I'm like Drake, and if you,
yeah. Like and I'm like, I like the mascot. Let's go with that one.
Yeah, I try to pick based off what I've seen, and it doesn't work. And then you pick based off like
romance.
Who looks cute in pants?
No, I mean no.
Who has the best baseball name?
Yeah, we should do a daddy ranking, but no, I do it based on who I want to win for my storyline.
Yeah,
Texas.
Your arc.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Couple storylines though with this series. I guess before we get into that, do you want to kind of predict the series since we're here talking about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
you think the Rangers sweep?
I don't see. They're back in.
No,
are they in Camden or
this is in Texas. So they played 2 at the Trop, won that. 2 at Camden and won those.
Do you think they're playing stronger because they're not at home, or
what is their argument here? I'm just not no argument. I'm just pointing out that this is their first home game.
No, I think they sweep. I think something's gotta really go wrong tonight. But
we'll talk about that. Let's just rip that right now. Actually,
okay, yeah.
I'm excited for them now that they've been this good without this person. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Creed, baby. The Rangers are a Creed team.
Oh,
right. With arms wide open.
Yeah.
I'll take you down.
I'm very concerned
Let me do
about this
praise. I'll give you everything.
We're going to get copyrighted.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get copyright for real?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No shot.
I mean, no one's watching this, so no.
But have you seen what I'm talking about? With Creed?
They use Creed to get pumped up, and they're hoping they play Creed tonight, which could ironically be their kiss of death. Maybe they start playing Creed, and then they just can't handle Creed at that level, and somehow the power transfers over to the Orioles, and now they have the power of Creed. I'm not.
No, if they have Creed, the Orioles might need like their own guy or Nickelback.
At this point,
is that not the same genre?
I hope that the Rangers do sweep. They have their Creed moment. Let's see if they can make it. Series? See, because look.
Can you take enough Creed for an entire October for the whole playoffs? Like if they go to the World Series, can you take? Let me take you higher.
I can for the memes. Seriously, stop singing.
Will they really? Do you copyright us for that?
If anyone watches it, yeah, they actually could.
No shot.
If you sing enough, you keep singing like 3 minutes of Creed. Yes. Although now I'm slightly starting to judge whether or not you know more Creed, but I also don't want to challenge you because I feel like
I don't think I do.
I feel like you'll come out with some that I don't even know. But my point is, like, what would be cool is if. So, okay, like, let's say that my Texas standoff happens. That means the Rangers have to play the Astros. I would root for the Rangers. Rangers come up on top. That means they're in the World Series now. Yeah. You get a Creed 7th inning stretch at the World Series. This could be...
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Who had that on their 2023 bingo card? Not me.
Well,
but I'm putting it on there now.
Have you seen a video of, like, Creed performing? I think it was, like, a halftime or, like, it was right before... It might have been Thanksgiving for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. And there's, like, people flying through the air. Maybe if I can get some video, I'll put it on here so they can see. But there's, like, people flying through the air, Creed going crazy, and the Cowboys fans... That's Dallas-Fort Worth, baby.
We've had Barbenheimer. We've had all kinds of memes this year.
Creed Rangers.
I love that.
Creed Rangers.
You know?
So, yeah, that's that. And obviously the tweet talking about it there. No, like I'm saying, the Orioles should get some Nickelback. They got to have some other, like, you know, what's the yin and yang to Creed. Like, what is, if he's yin, what's yang?
I could not tell you, but I feel like it would have to.
Paramore?
I was going to say, I feel like it has to be a girl singer group.
Paramore.
Paramore would be good.
Maybe we can hook that up.
Misery Business. Going. It's going to be Misery Business if the Orioles can't get a win out there in Texas.
That'll be their off-season song.
That's got to be a clip.
Yeah, that's tough. Another story here. We're going to talk about Zach Hample. Do you know who that guy is, Zack Hample?
I would say 6 out of 10 baseball name for sure.
Not a baseball guy or not a baseball player at all.
Cool.
I don't even know if he's ever played past Little League. Maybe he's like a college stud and I just never knew.
Uh-oh.
That's Zack Hample right there.
Why do I feel like I'm going to want to punch this guy in the face?
Because everyone literally does. Everyone. So I'll tell you this guy's
He's
gimmick.
got that face. No offense to this man. I don't know you.
He's a big content creator in baseball.
You're fine.
I'll tell you his gimmick. So Zack Hample is this guy, and obviously so the reason we're talking about him today is he caught Gunnar Henderson's first ever playoff home run ball, and that's his gimmick. So he literally creates baseball content, and a lot of people like it. Okay. You know, it's a lot of people like it. I've never been a Zack Hample fan, but I'm trying to be fair if someone is. But he creates content by going to all these baseball games, batting practices, big games like A-Rod's 3000th hit. He'll go to those games and stand out in the outfield, strategically place himself. Like he has his down to a science.
Because he knows where they're going to hit more likely.
Exactly, yeah. And he tries to get the home run balls.
See, and this is how stats ruins baseball.
This isn't even stats. This is a villain.
Not a shade
this is like
on
a
this
Batman
guy.
Villain.
Not a shade on this guy, but
Definitely
like, come on, man. Let some people have some fun.
He is the type. He is the type of guy that actually like knock down women and children to get a baseball.
That's what I hate, being at a baseball game and like, okay, if you're watching this, you've been to a baseball game and you're there and like a ball is coming towards you and there's always a child nearby that like really wants the ball. And I don't mind that.
It would make their day.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Make a baseball fan.
I'm not. I've got enough balls, you know, from my. I know. I've actually caught foul.
Brother sister podcast. Let's stay on topic here. Okay?
I've caught foul balls before. I've been a kid who's gotten a foul ball before. Like let another kid have it. It's a great day. Guy, yeah. And then there's always a grown ass man who's like. And it's insane. Yeah, I'm sitting, you know, like recently it happened where I was sitting, it was a minor league game. And so I'm literally, let the kids have the ball. We don't even know who these guys are yet. And then it's just a grown man, like fully linebacking his way through an 8-year-old.
Like an NFL running back going through the hole.
And then my favorite part too is when these guys don't even like catch it. It like falls and then they get on the hop and I'm like,
no,
you gotta catch it at least.
What's even worse is like when it's right at them, fumble it and then they like fumble over bleachers and
I've not seen that.
It gets bad.
I've seen the hop and then they're like, oh, I got it, and I'm like, you got it. And look, normally I'm not going to shade you on a hop. What I am going to shade you for is like completely pile driving through a group of like
little
5-year-olds
of Catholic nuns.
To then grab the hop. Like now I'm like, you couldn't even have caught that?
Yeah. Like what are we doing?
If you're going to do all that, then it better be a majestic ass catch. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, there's some cool ones where like.
And then hand it to the girl.
Check these. These are sweet.
No, but sometimes the dads get too much.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Like there's some cool. Okay. No, you didn't.
Because the dads sometimes also are these guys.
Literally shut it. So it's cool when it's like a casual beer in hand. Like, you know, that's baseball, true. Bro. Yeah. Oh, I caught the ball.
Oh, I have a ball now. Like,
yeah, exactly. Or like I've seen really cool ones. I don't know if you've seen these. Baby in hand as dad.
Oh yeah.
Catches ball.
That's or just sweet. Like out of the air.
That's boom. Sweet. Yeah, like dad strength, just like Spider-Man reflexes.
Fully dad strength.
No, but this guy actually goes. I mean, it's his content. So
I don't mind the dads as much, but when the dads still go like full NFL mode, I'm like, you gotta, you still gotta
like trying to relive your glory days.
Yeah. And even if you give it to your kid at that point, let it go.
Just kind of building on this.
If you're a grown man, let's say it's you.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Gotta give it to a kid, right?
Well, I have. You've seen this in action.
Yeah, but this was the point of the conversation. For it to get conversation.
Well, yeah, I know you have it. No, so she's referencing, I've caught a ball from Randy Rosarena. Shout out, mi primo over there. We're real close with the Rays. He saw me in the stands, threw me a ball, caught it, thought it was cool. Let everyone around me take pictures with it. And then there's a little girl back there, like 3 rows up, and gave her the ball.
Gonna make her day. I've been that girl. I've been that girl, and I've also seen those girls. They're so cute.
At the end of the day, I don't know, because like a lot. I mean, it's really cool to have a Major League Baseball, but also like I don't know, from my perspective, it's just the baseball, and there's like.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think the thing is like
that it was touched.
I know we joke about me not knowing anything about baseball, but I have spent most of my life at a baseball field, and we've been to a lot of baseball. You've been to a lot on your own. I've been to a lot on my own. We've been to a lot together, and like. We've also been to like baseball events. We've had the luxury of like meeting some players just like because of where we live in the Tampa Bay area. There's a lot of people around here. So it's not like, I know, humble brag on all this, but my point being like you get to a point where it's like, okay, a foul ball like on a random Tuesday game, like I don't really care. Let the kid have it. It means more to them. It's going to be a core experience for them, you know, because we've all been there. And so like, Anyway, that's my big diatribe on the balls.
It's
like,
for the
let
kids.
it go.
Now, let's say I get like Albert Pujols' 5,000th career.
Right.
You know, yeah, that's buddy. Fuck your kid. I'm pushing your baby out of the way and catching that. Well, that's $1 million right here. So fuck your kid.
Still not into the pushing of the people.
I'm punching bitches.
But don't do that. And definitely don't. We're not calling them
immediately regret it.
But what I am saying is just like, okay, if I'm sitting there and like I'm at a World Series game and like the ball comes out, or it's like a record ball from like somebody I really, or even like a player I really like or some bullshit.
No, yeah, you're keeping that one.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that one.
Record
but again, I'm talking about a regular
schmegular
Tuesday. Like, chill out.
So
this is not what he's doing.
No, well, yeah, exactly. Like this guy has it. I mean, it's his content,
and
I also just thought it was really funny that out of anyone at Camden Yards, it's him who catches it. And like people see him.
So what does he do with them?
I don't know. I think he literally keeps them.
Like, and what is there just like a room in his house with like a bunch of
seriously, yeah. Because like he even like posted like, oh, this is like my 3,000th ball I caught, and it's like, dude, like. It's just like it's like a very it's a very niche thing. Like either you're for it or you're against it. It's like do you bring a glove to a baseball game past age 10? Like
no.
I'm on the no.
No,
like, you can't do it. Do you see grown men at parks with baseball gloves? Like I'm not gonna say nothing to them, but I'm definitely gonna judge in my head.
Oh, I literally thought you meant like a city park, in which yes, you can have a baseball mitt, but like
the ballpark.
Yeah.
Like I don't bring my glove. Like catch it with your bare hands. Be a man, buddy. And Zach Hample, I don't know if he brings
but I'm not even bringing it. And I'm not saying that I'm going to like
I don't know, is Zack Hample
bare fist a ball?
Yeah, no.
But I'll try. Like if it's coming at me, I'm not bringing a glove. No.
You're not in the game, buddy. Leave the glove at home. Like they're not going to like
my contract didn't go through. Yeah, so I'm still free agent.
They're not gonna have a spotlight go into the crowd and shine on you and be like, "Oh, we need you for this fucking one pitch." Like, get out.
I mean, yeah. If you bring a glove, but you're not a douche about it, like, look, if I had to pick a guy,
I'm not gonna judge, but
if I had to pick a guy who's again just completely decimating 5-year-olds versus the guy who just sits in his seat and has a glove on the off chance it's his day, I will take that guy. I will take the glove.
But usually they it's like politics. Yeah, it's like politics. They don't like. There's no one or the other. It's like you're either that guy with the glove.
That's the thumbnail.
Maybe, but look at the face of that guy. Evil.
Yeah, I mean,
he's probably a good guy.
I don't know him. I don't want to say too much. I'd have to learn more, but based on this, a little cringe.
I'll end this segment off with, it's really hilarious because like when people see this guy, they're like, "Oh, hide your kids! Zach Hample's here!" Like, and like people are always like, "How do we not like?" He's actually banned from Colorado Rockies baseball.
Really?
I think
because of this.
Like he wouldn't sit down, and like the people were like, "You need to sit down, sir. Like this isn't even where your ticket's at. You need to go." And he was like throwing a complaint. He's like, "Oh,
that would make okay." I'm gonna say this.
And
we're gonna keep talking about it.
And then we're done.
But I actually agree. You know what? If he's so sure that he knows where the ball's gonna be hit.
Wait, with him? You agree with him?
No.
Oh.
I agree with like kicking him out because if you're so sure that you know where the ball's going to be hit, it's actually less impressive for you to do that than if you were to buy that seat. You know what I'm saying? Like if this guy showed up and was like, I
think he buys seats where he thinks it's going to be, but then he walks around the section.
That's lame. That's lame. If you're walking around now, it's lame.
Seat.
Because again, like, okay, so I went to a Tampa Tarpons game recently and there was a literal herd of like 6 to 10-year-old boys like roving around from side to
that used to be me.
Yeah, it's fine. This is what this is for. Okay, enjoy yourself. You're 6 to 10 years old.
Yeah.
And they're running back and forth on the lines, like trying to like
the foul ball.
Is the foul? Yeah, like, and they're trying to figure out where it's going to be.
If it's a righty, you go that side. If it's a lefty, you go. I know the drill.
They have like no actual clue where it's going to get hit. It's cute, whatever. That I don't mind. You're a grown man. Chill.
Buddy. Yeah.
Buddy, buy the seat and sit in it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Get a beer and fucking just catch it with your hands, bud. Put the glove in your car. What are you doing?
But shout out to this man. I don't know.
Let's move on from Zach Hample. Yeah. This is not a Zach Hample podcast.
He's probably great.
Yeah, shout out to you, Zach. He's got a lot of baseball reach for sure. But wanted to bring this up, and obviously we talked about can of corns earlier. My sister found out what that meant, and if you don't know what that means... Years ago,
by the way. Not like recently, like years ago.
If you don't know what can of corn means, it's pretty much like an easy pop-up. Like, you just sit there and catch it. And the reason it's called... You want to talk... Because I know this is your favorite word. I'll let you describe why it's called a can of corn.
Well, it's so basically when they... Okay, so you're watching baseball, and then there's a guy there, and the ball gets hit to him, and you notice, as in much of baseball, he doesn't really move. He just kind of like goes like this, and then eventually, very sassily sometimes, puts his glove up. And then the ball like goes right there, and then that's it. And That's exactly how that is exactly how it is, and that's called a can of corn or canned corn, whatever.
It's a can of like they'll say that hit. Oh, that's a can of corn.
That's a can of corn, whatever.
That's a can of corn.
And so that is because back in some time that I'm not aware of.
All legit, by the way.
Allegedly.
No, it's legit.
From what I've heard.
This is where it came from.
They had, at a grocery store and stuff, they had like cans on inventory, and so they would like hit the can of corn down, and then the guy would catch it in his apron because they used to have aprons. I actually worked at a grocery store, also had an apron. This is not the point of the story. So you catch it in your apron. So it's a can of corn. So now when you see them just like kind of like waiting for the ball, it's like the guy in the grocery store. So I'm obsessed with this. I think it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I love baseball phrases like this. I think it's amazing.
So way to throw in and plug that you're a blue collar worker back in the day. But
I am.
The reason why we're talking about this now is because Joe Davis, who's my favorite broadcaster for
I still have the apron, by the way, too.
Do you really?
I do, actually.
We're gonna have to
in my memory
we're gonna
box.
have to get her to wear that.
Yeah, next.
We're gonna put
next
that
episode.
on for
I'm
next
coming
episode.
with my apron on.
But Joe Davis, so he's an announcer for Fox Sports. He does all of the Dodgers games.
Did he say can of corn?
No.
Oh.
Maybe, I don't know. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is he does all the Dodgers games for the regular season. He does playoff baseball. He has great calls. Even last year, he replaced Joe Buck, and I love Joe Davis as an announcer. But during the Baltimore Rangers series, he ripped off like Baltimore chop at least 5 times. And that got me thinking like, wow, all these baseball lingo, like, you hear Baltimore chop. I'm like, that's a word that's his can of corn to you, right? So I put together a few, baseball lingos, and I thought it'd be funny to have my sister.
You want to do this right now?
Yeah, I do. Just really quick. Just a couple
do
words.
A couple of them.
Yeah, exactly. Just thought it'd be cool to see her, kind of guess what a lot of these words mean.
You know what? Well, we'll talk about it during the Twins game. Go ahead.
So I guess the first one that we need to start is a Baltimore chop. Lisa, what is a Baltimore chop? You're on the clock.
A Baltimore chop is when you live in Baltimore and you're really hungry and you are like, what do I feel like?
Okay, so
like a pork chop. It's a Baltimore chop.
No, a Baltimore chop. I mean, maybe it is in some sectors, but no, in the baseball lingo world, a Baltimore chop is when a player hits the ball and it hits the front of home plate and bounces really high.
Why is it called a Baltimore chop?
Back in the day, this is what I assume, Baltimore's groundkeepers had the clay in front of home plate really hard. So if you hit the ball, it would bounce into the outfield. Like it would bounce over the heads of the infielders. And they call it a Baltimore chop because the clay in Baltimore is
so really it actually hard. Bounces over the infield line.
It's like a high chopper. It hits home plate first and bounces really high.
Let me ask you this.
We got to keep going now. We got to keep going.
Okay.
Ask it though while I look at the.
Could a Baltimore chop become a can of corn, or is it just not high enough?
No, because a can of corn.
That high.
A can of corn is like an out. You're not. Yeah. You can't. Once it hits the ground, it's not. Good question though. That's high. Fair. Yeah, exactly. Bronx cheer. You're on the clock. Bronx cheer.
It's when you hear the subway go by.
No, a Bronx cheer is when you boo somebody.
Oh, okay.
Think about it.
I do that all the time.
Boos,
yeah.
Bronx cheer.
I don't know, man. You're starting to doing this actually makes me want to be a Yankees fan again. So be careful.
That's all right. I could honestly care less. Chin music. On the clock for chin music.
Is that like the guy had like a butt chin or something, and then like the wind would
whistle
create a sound? Yeah, I don't know.
You're trying really hard, but no, it's not chin.
That's the hell could this be?
Is
this when you're like
a pitch
calling? Okay.
It's a pitch that is high and tight and almost brushes your chin.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Hey, give him a little chin music. It's like that must be like 1940s gangster era baseball. It's like, hey, pitch, give him a little chin music there.
Plus, hit him with a little bit of chin music.
Hey, listen here, see, you throw me all high cheese chin music. So let's do one more here. I'm trying to see Texas Leaguer. That's pretty good for this series here. What's a Texas Leaguer?
A Texas Leaguer.
Yeah, on the clock for that. Nah, nothing to go up with that one. I don't blame you. Like baseball lingo is so just like out of pocket.
I don't know. Is that when you show up to the stadium on a horse? Like what is a
Yeah, it's a Texas Leaguer right there. No, it's like a blue pit.
So what?
It's a blue pit. Maybe that's another word. Blue pit. What is that? It's a Texas Leaguer. Who's on first? What's on second? A blue pit is like a. God, how do I describe this and not? I was gonna say a bleeder. A blue. You don't hit.
And then they wonder why everyone like doesn't watch baseball.
A Texas Leaguer is a blue pit. A blue pit's a bleeder. What are you not getting here?
Obviously, you get a bleeder past your chin whistle, and now you've got a Baltimore chop.
Now you're ripping Baltimore chops in an alley. I was like, okay, chill out.
Yeah, okay, you sound like you need help.
Texas Leaguer is essentially just kind of like when I say a bloop hit, it's like a ball you got jammed on or hit off the cap, and you hit it really soft, but you still get a hit out of it. It's usually like a little ball in the air that just drops in front of the outfielders or behind the infielders.
Okay.
So it's not a line drive hit. It's a bloop hit.
Yeah.
It's a Texas Leaguer.
See, I would say I need to rename these things. That I would call a.
I don't like that.
Yeah, he hit it.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
How'd it hit?
Sounds like a dance move.
Okay.
Moving on to the next series here, I guess it would be the Twins and Astros, and I think this has actually been a really great series. It has a lot of back and forth. It's another series that's tied at 1-1. Astros ended up. I guess let's actually talk about the story leading into this before I get ahead of myself. Obviously, we talked about it last episode, but really the big story here is Twins, after breaking their 18-game losing streak in the playoffs, are now going to Houston, who is like the god of playoff baseball.
The Alabama
of American League October baseball.
Right.
And so now the Twins, after breaking that losing streak, going in there with Houston's former shortstop, Carlos Correa. And it's like, hey, you got Carlos Correa going in with the Twins. You got the Houston Astros with their new shortstop and last year's World Series MVP, Jeremy Pena, at shortstop now. It's like, let's see how that plays out. That's pretty interesting, right? And obviously, if you're the Twins, that's why you go get Carlos Correa. Game 1 was all the Astros. They got a big lead. Justin Verlander struggled early, and the Twins had runners on.
How'd Kate feel about that?
Not too bad because he got out of it.
Okay,
they had runners on. The Twins couldn't do anything with it. So as soon as he got those through those two struggle innings he had, he absolutely pitched great after that. And that's kind of the thing with Justin Verlander and a lot of Hall of Fame pitchers like that. Once you have him on the ropes, you really got to take advantage, because if you don't, he's just going to find his groove. And that's exactly what he did. He had 6 shutout innings. So I put 6 shutty and 6 strikeouts there. So Verlander, tip of the cap to you. He's like 40 years old, still doing his thing. Got to make Mama Kate proud right there, huh? no input there. Jose Altuve, though, leadoff home run on the first pitch he sees in October. It's like as soon as you see that in the first inning, it's like, yeah, the Astros are back. Like, it's October baseball. It's Houston. They're going to dominate and do what they do. Are you going to say something?
No.
Okay, yeah, and then we'll just keep going. That was really game. I mean, Yordan Alvarez leaves the yard twice. Like, that's Houston Astros October baseball. You got dogs in that lineup like Altuve and Alvarez. Kyle Tucker hasn't even gotten into the action yet. But Alvarez is, he's going to hit like a home run a game, and that's essentially what he's done so far in the first 2. Altuve is a munchkin, but he puts barrels on the ball, and he's just going to show out. Every October, it's became kind of like a machine that you expect from the Astros. And you start after game 1, you start feeling sorry for the Twins. It's like, you won 2 games. You ended the streak, and now you got to face this machine. The Twins did not care in game 2. They did not care. Kyle Farmer and Carlos Correa got to the Houston starting pitcher, Framber Valdez, really early. Valdez didn't really look that good either. Correa had a game. He had an absolute game. He came up with like the bases loaded, I want to say, in the beginning. Ended up getting an RBI base hit, bringing in a couple runs. Kind of like it really game 1 for Correa was kind of like I'm still that guy. Like that, and the Astros fans were booing him coming back.
And they did the second game as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. The second game.
Okay,
and it's like, oh yeah, this is your recap right here. This is a game she watched.
I pulled up my notes. That's why I looked down. I was pulling up my notes.
But I'll finish this, and I'll let her give her recap. This is actually the game that I forced her to watch this game with me the other night.
Yeah, this is your fault.
And no, but this is really Carlos Correa's game where he was like, hey, look, like, you must have forgot who I was, Astros fans. Like, I'm Carlos Correa. It's my time in October. This is what I do in this park. Like, this is my house. I'm Correa. You must have forgot. And he made him remember in game 2 because he absolutely punished them. And I guess I'll show you this video right now while we're at it. But this is kind of like a TikTok that the Twins posted, and I think it covers Correa's big night. And at the end, you'll just see it. You'll see it, and then we can talk about it, and then I'll let you give your review here. But watch this video.
Sends one deep to left field. Going back on it is Alvarez all the way to the track. That ball is off the wall. 1-1. Correa into center field. This will pad the Minnesota lead. Taylor is in. Solano will come home.
Quiet crowd out there in Houston.
Correa hurting his old club.
They were. Well, Lopez was
and he
pitching.
launches one towards left. Alvarez on the move along the track. That is off the wall again. Here comes the speed of Lewis. He accelerated his. Wow. Towards short, diving stop. Correa trying to get his counterpart. Pena. He got
Great
him.
stretch for the first baseman too, because
awesome,
that doesn't happen without him.
I think that was the perfect capstone for Correa's night. After all those RBI hits, for him to make that nasty diving play and then throw out the Astros shortstop Jeremy Pena. It's like, hey, buddy, I don't know who you guys thought you were. This is my field still. Even though I'm in a different jersey, this is still my place. And I think that was pretty impressive to watch. That was my favorite. And it's so, I'll say this too, because obviously Correa and the Astros in 2017 became like the villains of baseball with their cheating scandal. And who else better to stop the cheating Astros than the ultimate cheating villain himself, Carlos Correa, with the new team? It's like, in order to beat the villain Super League team, you need
you must become the darkness.
Yeah, exactly. That's Carlos Correa. And I find myself actually liking this guy now because he's defeating the Astros. And it's like half the guys on the Astros aren't even there anymore. I just want the Astros to lose.
See, without this storyline, I saw Correa, and obviously, I'm aware that he exists and who he is, but I just didn't. There was so much more, I felt like, to that game. Like, yes, Correa shined.
There was a lot.
But there was just so much more that, I understand and appreciate this romanticization of his storyline, but really, to me, the winner of that game, other than the Twins, was Lopez.
Yeah. Dog.
Complete,
it was his coming out party to the rest of the league. If you guys didn't know Pablo Lopez from other
great fans, performance from him. And so so I'll just read off some of the notes that I had from the game, because I feel like they're going to be a little bit different than what we just heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see.
Pablo Lopez is hot.
So my first side note was that I was here for Correa's mustache. I wasn't sure at first if that was going to be a good move on his part, but frankly, as the game went on, I thought, you know what, it works.
It's a show stash.
It works.
That's a show stash right there.
And then there was a whole problem at one point. I believe it was Alvarez for Houston when was it stretch or wind up? We don't know.
Oh, that's you're talking about Framber Valdez. Yeah. So
was it? I don't know, but I heard it about 30 times.
Yeah.
No idea what it meant. Drink if you heard it, because you did.
Yeah, they were
and
talking
I understood
about
later it was like a bunch of rules or whatever, but that was
I understood
really
later
fun.
it was like a bunch of rules or whatever.
Yeah, but I was stretcher wind. Stretcher was it? Well, I think what we're trying to figure out.
So you came up
stretcher wind.
Came up with a nice drinking game while you were watching the game.
Yeah. And then so the the Twins are up. Astros trying to make up this lead, and who is the guy who hits a double and starts doing a whole
who did that?
Magic Mike performance on second? And I was like, and I've already said I am not for pre-celebrations. No, you're down. If you were leading this game, it was a good. Or if it was
it was still a close game though, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Maybe not. Maybe it was 6-2 at that time.
I think it was. I think they were down by 4, and I'm like, you're down by 4.
Can you give it was like a little gyration.
I'm not going to put the video in this video. I am not doing that.
Okay, I was going to leave it out too, but if you want it, look it up.
So yeah, and then that was the other thing I said where Anthony wanted to bring up the canned corn, because Twitter was complete. Our Twitter became a corn sponsorship area.
Through her part.
Lopez must work as a part-time grocer for all the canned corn that we've got, because it was. He was just pitching really solidly.
He really was. We have the stats here, right? 7 innings pitched, shutout, no earned runs, 6 hits, 7 strikeouts. He threw 105 pitches, and honestly, it looked like he could have kept going.
He could have. Okay, so one thing before they take Lopez out that I also wanted to bring up, because I thought it was hilarious. So Correa slides in at home. He tries to do what? Steal home. And from space, they could see he did not touch that bag. He was nowhere near that bag.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
I don't think he was. I think he was.
I was like,
I don't think.
Sell it, babe. Yeah. I
don't know what he was saying. He might have been asking him, I don't know, did I touch it? Maybe he doesn't know. You're moving fast.
Anyway, they take Lopez out in the 7th, which I think comes back to what we're talking about a lot lately, both here in the 2 episodes or whatever we've done, but also just in regular baseball talk, which is you got a guy like him. He's up on the mound. He's doing a great job. Basically shutting out these. I mean, not really, but
it's a great lineup that he's facing. He's dominating.
He's facing a dominant lineup,
October
and
machine.
he is really shutting them down in ways that matter, that allow his team
lot of canned corn
to make up tons of it. It was like a very corny night, but why take him out? I mean, I get it. You want to save his arm and everything. Or you want him to be able to play more later. I get it, but also like, damn, as a person watching, I was like,
go for that shutty.
Just let him go for
the shutty.
Just let him keep going.
That's how legends are made. Like, went for the
what
shutty.
happens? New pitcher comes in. Houston comes up like immediately.
And Jordan, who else? Jordan,
he's
like the main players,
And that's exactly it. It's like,
he had
in the grand scheme of things, no, the sorry, I keep saying them.
Texas Showdown, man, it's getting
in my head. Yeah. The Twins still win. So at the end of the day, that's what matters. Just going home with the W, surviving another day, playing the next game in the series, and hoping you can advance. But but goddamn, can't we just let a pitcher pitch?
So yeah, I mean, it's like those are the decisions. Like that one, I'm not too sure if I'm mad at that pull.
I understand
because they were like, but you can look at it two ways, right? So like, you're up 6-0, like let him in, right? Like so, if he gets himself in trouble, then you can pull him, and then the bullpen will go in and hopefully shut it down. Or you can look at it, like, hey, it's 6-0. Let's let the bullpen finish this out. Like they can't possibly.
But I also would argue,
and then let's save them for later in the series where we might need them.
But I would argue that it's almost getting too cocky to do it at this point.
Not when you have trust in your back end guys, so and they're gonna. But also, it's like, okay, well, you got trust in your back end guys.
But I got trust in the guy right now on the mound performing.
Well, yeah, and you should because he's shoving.
Yeah.
But like, let's say like, I'm gonna pull him, save him for the next, game 5 when we might need him because it's gonna be a tied series, whatever. Or we want, we don't want him to burn all his bullets out now, right? Whatever. And let's put it in our back end guys who we trust. It's like every time you put in your high end relievers at the end, that's just more at bats that the other team is going to see off of them. Right. So I mean, and obviously the more, it's not a long series, it's 3 out of 5. It's not 4 out of 7.
Right.
But the more you see a reliever, especially in a series like this, the more looks you get off of his pitches, the more easier, I'm not going to say easier, but the more used to you get to his pitches. So it's a little bit easier to read his ball than the first time you had to face them.
Yeah, and you can make that same argument for Lopez too, because at this point now they've had,
like
I
think
four rotations through the lineup.
Exactly.
And so they're getting to know him, but he still hadn't been in a jam yet. So
and another thing too is when you have a pitcher who's dominating like that, and you see him, like if you're the other team and this guy has your number that day, and now you see he's not going back out there for the 8th, you're like, oh shit, we have a chance. Like, thank God they took him out of the game. We actually might score a run, and they did.
It's true.
So
and
that's how, like, as a manager though, you got to be able to not play just the numbers and be able to play some feel at the same time.
And it's also like a little bit, and this is the hard part I think in particular about baseball, because it's like, you don't. I feel like normally in sports you don't want to be playing the next game. You want to be in the game that you're playing, and that's the one you've got to win, right? Because the next game might not come. In this, you're going to have at least a couple more games. Because you're up on this one. If you win this one, you're going to have to face these guys a couple more times before you then have another series. So with baseball, you do have to kind of game manage, not just the game you're in, but the entire series as a whole, which I understand makes it harder. But still, he was so hot.
I believe, I don't know if it was, I think it was Wainwright, Adam Wainwright, who's a former pitcher in the bigs, just retired this year, Hall of Famer going to be, and AJ Pierzynski, I believe it was, on the call. That's color guys, and one of them brought up a good point. It's like, hey, like, yeah, you'd like to see him keep going and get the shutout there, but they don't even do that in a regular season. So like, you gotta like have these guys built up for that. Pablo can do it for sure, but I mean, it's like other guys, right? That you see 7 shutout, you let them through. It's like, well, they're not really built for it. So why would you do it in October? Because they've thrown 7. Like 7's the max they've gone all regular season. You don't want to throw them more than that in October. So it's like you gotta do it in a regular season too. I don't know. It's a balance.
I get it, but yeah.
Either way, great job, Pablo.
I would make the case to do it more in the regular season.
Yeah,
I don't think this is an October issue. I think this is we
baseball
need to do this more issue.
Yeah. Anything else with this series that you want to touch on, or maybe just give your predictions? I think as of now, they're playing right now as we're recording, and last time I checked, it was like Astros up 5-0 right now in the 5th.
Oh yeah, no. Look, I mean, I want the Twins to win. I do.
Yeah.
The part of
Whoa, Texas Showdown.
Well, no. Let me finish.
Okay.
I want the underdog story to win, but if it gets in the way of my Texas standoff, then I'm sorry, Twins. Like, Also, you're definitely the underdog on this one. Beyond this game that was so strong for you guys. So let's see what happens. But I'm still thinking the Astros.
Yeah, I think Framber's just having that's the Astros starting pitcher that pitched game 2.
Mm-hmm.
He just had he's not been pitching very well recently, and the Twins just took advantage. I want the Twins to win too, but I think the Astros are going to win. But I'm still sticking with my spicy pick. Give me the Twins in 5.
All right.
If they
Love
lose
that.
game 3. So
let's go.
I don't know if that's what I said earlier. I think I might have said Twins in 5 or 4.
I think you did.
I said they were going to steal one in Houston. They did that, so I'll stick.
I think I thought the Astros were going to sweep, so.
Yeah, and we'll see. Who knows? Let's move on to Phillies Braves. Now, this is the other series that has been absolutely great. But
I'm just wondering how much longer we've got.
Yeah, we got to maybe go a little bit faster. But, I mean, let's hit on this. This is great. So the story leading up, best team in baseball in the Atlanta Braves playing against the Phillies, who have October Magic, and they beat the Atlanta Braves last year in the same round. So it's kind of like a rematch of last year. You still got that Philly Magic. Are the Braves the best team in baseball? Are they going to be able to stop that Philly Magic this time around? Game 1, the answer was no. The Phillies won 3-0. Spencer Strider threw a great game. Only had 1 earned run. 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 5 hits. He only had 94 pitches going into the 8th, and he was pulled in the 7th. And after he was pulled, he had a strong. I mean, they're down. I believe it was like 2-0 at the time that they were down. The starting pitcher shoved, and he had a strong conversation with his coach. I'm not sure if you saw this, but I'll pull up the video and show you. What do you make of this? This is, again, a pitcher, Spencer Strider, starter for the Atlanta Braves. He's their ace. He's their guy, and they're down 2-0, 94 pitches. He wants to – what?
He wants to keep going?
He wants to keep going. Watch this video, and he expresses himself on how much he wants to keep going here.
Those guys have got – and this guy right here, Spencer Strider, did a heck of a job, and I'm pretty sure he's telling Rick Kranitz right now, I want to go back out there for the 8.
He is adamant about something.
I don't think he's talking about dinner here.
Great listener. He always has been.
This is me talking about the stupidest shit.
This is Lisa when someone tells her to shut up about canned corn. So that's him having a convo with the pitcher coach there.
This is exactly it, right? This is what we're talking about. And I think,
he wants the ball. And that's what you want.
Players, too. Players want the ball. Let them have it.
That's what you want from your ace.
Unless you're getting jammed. If you're in a jam, you got to get out of there, and you got to understand that it's your time to come out and reassess.
Yeah.
But if you're hot, why would you? Why? It's like I said, I get it. We don't need to belabor the topic. I get it, but also, come on.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
We'll keep going here. Obviously, game 1, Bryce Harper goes yah-yah, like the Phillies Magic. Like you're thinking, the Braves, they had to wait for the wild card round because they had a bye. They're coming out a little flat. The Philly Magic, October Magic's getting hot. Harper goes yard. The cogs are turning. Ranger Suarez for the Phillies gets pulled out early though after giving up his first ground ball hit in the 4th inning. They pulled him early, yanked him again, but the Phillies ended up winning. Spencer Strider stayed in there for 7 innings. They ended up losing 2-0. I think that's more of an Atlanta offense thing. You got to figure out how to get a hit.
Yeah. That's the thing about hits. You can't, without any hits or without enough hits, you can't win.
No hits, no runs. No runs,
exactly.
No wins. So, yeah. And, one thing the Phillies said they were going to do entering the series was have a lot of stolen bases. They were going to challenge the Atlanta catchers. They did that in the first game. They had 5 stolen bases.
That's pretty good.
Funny storyline here to watch, too, if you're watching the Phillies-Braves game. Trey Turner had stolen 30 bags in the regular season. Hasn't been thrown out once. He's got 4 in the playoffs. Actually, he might have – no, he's got 4. He's got 4 in the playoffs. So he's got 34. Hasn't been thrown out all year. Is he gonna get gunned down?
Witchcraft. Let's look into it.
Witchcraft.
Going on, yeah.
I'm for it.
Why can't we catch this guy?
I love the stolen bases. The new rules have made the game.
Get the CIA on this guy.
So again, Braves lineup. Where are you at? They were just a little late. They showed up in game 2. Excuse me. They ended up beating the Phillies 5-4. But this is you didn't watch this game, did you? If there was any game to watch, it would have been this one. This was the best game so far out of the playoffs. Each series has gone 2 games. This one's been the best. Back and forth. This is something that I've been wanting because pretty much up to this point, every game has just been, the away team has kind of taken the air out of the home crowd. And then the home crowd would score, but they had no business with they were just not in the game. This one, Phillies were up 4-0, and it feels like the Atlanta Braves stole this one from the Phillies because they were up 4-0. That's a game you should win. Entering the 7th inning, they're up 4-0. And the Braves chip away. They score a couple here. They score some here. a 2-run home run to make it 4-3 by Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher.
That's when you want a home run.
And then Austin Riley hitting another 2-run home run to make it 5-4 in the bottom of the 8th. They end up going and winning 5-4. Great. I mean, Zach Wheeler from the Phillies, he shoved. Again, he had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning. Got pulled in the 7th. I want to say I understand the pull because it's a really close game there. And I think he had some runners on when he got pulled. So, I mean, that one, it's like, yeah, hey.
That one makes sense.
He's starting to, he might be getting tired. Yeah.
He's getting tired. So
and this game is not,
it's too close.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point when that makes sense.
And if Philly can go into Atlanta and win 2 and then have to and win 2 games and then go back having only to win 1 in Philly, they're set. Atlanta knew that too, and they're desperate to win at least 1 game before going to Philadelphia and playing 2. So, and they did exactly that. Austin Riley again, tip of the cap to that guy. He hit a bomb to left field, and I don't know if you had the chance to look it up. The Braves do how we talked about guaranteed rate field with the White Sox firework display. It was full halftime show, Super Bowl fireworks.
Nothing beats
it was
home
majestic.
run at guaranteed rate. I stand by that.
This one was sweet. Sweet. And another cool thing the Braves crowd does is when there's a pitching change, all the lights turn off and they hit the FSU chop, all the flashlights are on with the phone. That's pretty cool. But really, game 2, obviously, back and forth. You see the Braves start to. It's really a story of you were up 4-0, and it looks like the Phillies kind of gave up on the gas a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's always tough when you see that. But I mean, again, we can have. This is why I love baseball. You can have these conversations until you die. This is what we were just talking about home runs. This is when you want to see. This is when the home runs are extra fun.
I think the Braves only had 4 hits or 5 hits. And they had 2 home runs with them, and they scored 4 runs off those 2 home runs.
Right,
yeah,
and that's when it mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Is to get that 2-run home run. That's electric.
Exactly.
That's baseball.
And you could feel it was 4-1, 2-run home run by Travis d'Arnaud, 4-3. You're like, oh, the crowd's into it now.
5 out of 10 baseball name.
But the momentum, you can feel it. No, this game you didn't even watch. How can you give a grade?
5 out of 10 baseball name.
Travis d'Arnaud.
Yeah.
Okay, they said game. I was like, this was a great game. I don't know what you're talking about. Grade this game, I'd give it a nice, a good 7 out of 10.
Good A.
Good 7 out of 10. Sure.
A minus.
Because the only thing that would have made this better if it was elimination game 5 or game 7. But this was a great game, especially the way it ended. Now you want to talk about some excitement? I'll show you this. I don't know if you've seen it. The situation. Let me pull it up. Situation is man on first. The guy on first is Bryce Harper. How many outs is that? 1 out. Yeah, 1 out. Man on first, Bryce Harper. The Phillies are down 5-4, so that tying run is on first base.
Okay.
This is how game 2 between the Braves and Phillies ended.
Most closers don't. He deals a 2-2. Castellanos in the air to right center field. Harris is on the run. Harris at the track. He leaps and he makes the catch.
Hell of a catch.
He doubled up. The throw gets away. The throw to first. It's over.
No way. That was a hell of a fucking play. Holy shit.
That's awesome. And the announcer, I love it when announcers just announce the game like a fan. What a catch!
Yeah, that was incredible.
And Harper might get doubled up. When the announcer is announcing it, the way that everyone watching it is thinking oh my God, what a catch! And then oh, he's gonna get doubled up, and he ends the game. That is something that if you're an announcer and you're doing that, man, good job.
No, the only time I've seen a better catch than that is when a grown man's trying to catch a foul ball.
Yeah, the only better catch that happened that day was Zack Hample catching Gunnar Henderson. You should have seen that one now.
Hell of a catch.
I'll tell you what he didn't do. He didn't double up Bryce Harper to end the game.
No, that was a beautiful play.
Now,
everything had to go right there, and it did.
A lot of people were saying, what the hell was Harper doing? I kind of understand it. I think he just made a bad read, right? So, he's the trying.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, because they're saying, how do you get doubled up there? It's the guy had to make a Superman catch on the wall.
You're not expecting that, and what you're definitely not expecting is for them. He did, yeah, but you're not expecting that, and then you're also not. It's another gamble too that they're gonna tag you out.
Great play by Harris out in center field for the Braves, but even better. I mean, not even better, but also a great play by Austin Riley, the third baseman, because you see the throw actually got past the 2 middle infielders.
Right.
Austin Riley was right there, who hit the 2-run home run. He was right there to pick the ball up and shoot it over first. And that was a really good throw.
And again, this is where you're just not thinking that's what's gonna happen.
I wouldn't get on Harper too much for that. Look, he was being aggressive.
Way.
You know Harper's aggressive, so he sees that ball in the gap. He's thinking tie the game. I got to tie the game, and he's not like he had his head up his butt. He was trying to make the read. He made the wrong read. It is what it is.
You think you got 1 out you know, you don't know there's going to be another one, and shit happens.
What Jimmy Rollins said on the TBS, cast, the TBS panel after the game, after the Diamondbacks game, was he pretty much said, like, look, you get on second base if you're Bryce Harper. He took the turn and started heading to third and had to double back up. But Jimmy Rollins said, look, you just get on the base and kind of like tag up on second almost. So, I mean, if the ball doesn't get caught, it's probably going to bounce around. You score anyway.
Right.
And if he catches it, you can just run back to first.
Exactly.
He had to stop his momentum rounding third,
right.
going to third, and then have to run all the way back. That's how he got done in for. And Jimmy Rollins is the former shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies, and he won in 08 and played against the Yankees in 09. So he knows what he's talking about there.
Even though I didn't know that, I still
agree.
What he said made sense, yeah.
The other series out in the National League West, the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. The story leading up to this one was the National League West showdown, obviously. The Dodgers, kings of the National League West. They're just always on top. They own the National League West. Is it, kind of...
Do they?
Is it their time to not own the West anymore? That's what the Diamondbacks are making the case for. And look, I mean, the Dodgers used to be an all-star team full of Hollywood stars out there. Like, they had Cody Bellinger, Trey Turner, who's on the Phillies now, Corey Seager, who's on the Rangers now, Jock Peterson. They had studs. And now, I mean, it's not like they don't have studs. They have Mookie Betts. They have Freddie Freeman. They also have Clayton Kershaw, who just is a Hall of Fame pitcher. Great pitcher in the regular season. He has like postseason blues. He struggles in the postseason.
As a guy you take out early.
That's game one, and that's exactly what happened. And they didn't take him out early enough. That's almost a guy you don't even put in, and that's controversial. You put that dude in because he's Clayton Kershaw. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Yeah, but like you take him out.
you just
when you need to. Yeah.
Get this. So game one, Diamondbacks win 11-2. Kershaw absolutely just gets rocked in the first inning. Almost like it looked like the Diamondbacks had a tell on what he was pitching. Like, sometimes if a pitcher does a certain thing, someone can understand what pitch is coming. Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like. Because every ball that they hit off Kershaw was hit hard.
They're watching the tape.
He only got one out in the first inning before they yanked him. 6 hits off of him, 6 runs scored off him in the first inning. He walked the guy in a home run, obviously. And I just thought it was weird. Like, let's compare his regular season with his postseason. Look at that ERA that pops up. He's 2.48 ERA in the regular season. 4.49.
Yeah, we got to get him a therapy dog or something. I don't know.
think it might be all mental, and also he's a little bit older now.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes you go into a certain stadium and you can't play. Sometimes you play a certain team or you face a certain batter, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't click for you. That happens.
Really, the story of Game 1 with Arizona and LA is Arizona jumped out early and didn't look back. It took the crowd out of LA out of the game. They weren't even a factor. And the starting pitcher, Merrill Kelly, for the Arizona Diamondbacks had a really good game. Threw into the 7th, got one out in the 7th, had no earned runs given up, 5 strikeouts, 3 hits, 2 walks. Good for Merrill Kelly to get out there. And Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, 0 for 5 combined in Game 1. Wanted to show you this, though, because you talked about the gyrating guy in Houston.
Hated that.
Check this out. So Diamondbacks are up 9-0. David Peralta with the Dodgers ends up getting a hit here. They're down 9-0. Like, what? I mean, so teams do Cellys at second base. When is it time to just say, let's not do the Celly right now, down 9-0?
That's what I'm not against having fun, but time
know
and
the place. Yeah, buddy, you're losing. All your fans
man.
want to take their eyes out of their heads because of what they're watching.
But I'm glad you got a double.
Yeah, it's like, let's say, buddy, we're losing right now.
Yeah.
So this is him hitting his Celly.
If it's close, I think it's different.
So 9-0.
It even felt half-hearted. It felt like no one wanted
to be there.
And it was.
It's like you have to do it. But, buddy, it's not your contract. You don't have to do it. If you don't want to, you don't have to,
You
Or, if anything, give it a little, just one. Don't get the hips into it.
And, maybe this makes the case for not having too obnoxious a Celly because, honestly.
Well, you got to have levels to it, right? Like I said, maybe just the hands.
Just a.
No, just because there are things no hips in that.
No hips. Hands. You can't go hips.
Windshield wiper hands.
I'm not even.
Don't even put them over your head like he did. Just straight, just down here.
Oh, I think you go overhead, no windshield wipers.
Just.
Yeah, that feels right. Just like this, and then we're done.
That's good.
Yeah,
I like that.
When you go, it's the windshield wiper that makes this.
And the hips. It's like, buddy, you're down 9-0. What are you doing? So I saw that, and then obviously Twitter was having a field day with it, and they pulled this up, and I just wanted to share this with you. I cracked up at this one. Wait. David Peralta
Well,
on
he doesn't-
second base after being down 9-0.
I mean,
I thought that cracked me up. I was like, yeah, that's actually exactly how it was.
I know it's not as close as the Astros game was, because the Astros game was still closer, but the gyration was more cringe than that. Because that's cringe on its own as a celebration.
I'd take the gyration over that.
I would absolutely no. Look, I don't know who that was for. Is the thing, because I'm sitting here like
It's for Kate.
I'm your target.
It was for Kate.
I'm like, I'm your target audience. Do you want
Did you not like that?
I did. I hated it.
I felt sexually harassed in TV.
I felt very weird about the whole thing.
If I had a daughter, I would have been like this over her eyes.
Yeah, I called HR. They were like, "You can't call about this. It's not work." I was like, "I don't know, man."
Well, you see, the Phillies double Cellys is actually, I don't know if it's like the big balls thing. I'm trying to do it so it's in the camera. They like bend down and do this.
Really?
Like, what else can that be, right?
See, and now I'm starting to like the Marlins fish more. Like, it's kind of, they're just all kind of dumb, but
They're cool.
somehow the Dodgers.
It's something to do. It's something to get the boys going.
So but at least, okay, so like the Dodgers one though is like the team.
Yeah, everyone does that. Yeah.
Whereas like the gyration was
I think that might just be that guy.
him ad-libbing.
Yeah. I think that's just what he felt in the moment.
Yeah. Oh, bring those feelings back.
I don't know. So that was game one. Obviously, Diamondbacks dominated game one. Dude, the Diamondbacks are up 2-0 in this series. Did we say? Just wanted to interrupt. Did we say Phillies Braves? We can go back to that later.
Phillies Braves. We can
go back to that later. But Diamondbacks. What were you gonna say with Diamondbacks?
I was gonna say I was thinking about this today because I heard that the Diamondbacks were up in the series, and I was like,
I think you said that. You predicted
I did say that, and I also asked you last time, and I think that am I low key like a baseball psychic?
Nostradamus, yeah.
Also though, Longo still hasn't had a ring.
I know. That'd be cool to get him.
Is this his year? Like, is this the year that? I mean, they're having a great show. I could easily see like Rangers, Astros. My pick would be Rangers, mostly because of my feelings, and then Rangers, Diamondback, World Series. Diamondbacks win.
Cool.
That'd be good. I could see
that. Desert
that's
showdown.
plausible to me. Like, this could happen. I don't see the Twins coming up, but this I could see. Yeah.
So
standoff in the desert. Either way, I'm getting it.
Yeah, and no, Longo doesn't have a ring. I wouldn't mind seeing him go.
I think he's one of the. I mean, there's lots of guys who I'm sure fit this, but as far as players that matter to me, not that he like maybe does, but just because being in the
you like Longo, you can't not like Longo.
Local area, yeah, being from Tampa, you like him. You have a certain respect for him. I would like to see him. I'd like to see him have a ring.
He's having a good series. The Diamondbacks are having a good series. They won Game 2, 4-2. The Dodger crowd at least was in this one once they started chipping away, getting it closer.
I mean, that's how crowds go.
The organist was going crazy. Shout out to the organist because next time if we ever get to see Game 5 here in this series back in LA, sit down and watch that and just listen to the organist play. He's ripping it.
I love when they let him go.
He gets the people going.
Even at church when you just let the organist go and all of a sudden you're like in a Dracula movie and you're like, whoa.
Baseball parks are like baseball's cathedrals. That's what they call them. So yeah, that's why you got an organist in there. It's very symbolic. But the Diamondbacks in Game 2 got out to an early lead. Dodgers rookie starting pitcher Bobby Miller, first playoff appearance, did not look good. Maybe took a little bit too many tips from Clayton Kershaw for the postseason. Zach Gallen, though, for the starting pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks, dominated that game. We saw some really good starting pitching. He had a great strikeout. They didn't pull him. They kept him in. Freddie Freeman was on, 2 out, up at bat. Ended up buckling him with a curveball that was like, it looked like he hung it, but he was just having the hitters guess all night as to what pitch he was throwing. That's like, you don't need max velo 100 miles an hour to get outs in the major leagues. You keep hitters guessing. You can even make a mistake with a curveball and hang it to Freddie Freeman. It's going to buckle him because he has no idea what's coming out of your hand.
Right.
And baseball is hard to hit. I don't know if you guys know that.
I don't know if you've ever done it, but it's not easy.
Really cool to see Kike Hernandez back in a Dodger uniform.
Love that guy.
After being with the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like Dodgers do have some guys I really love.
Got a pinch hit at bat with the bases loaded. Ended up getting a base hit up the middle. Nice diving play by second baseman for the Diamondbacks, Ketel Marte, to stop the ball. Keep another run from
8
scoring.
8 out of 10 baseball name.
Ketel Marte.
Oh, hell yeah.
What about Kike Hernandez?
Oh, 9 out of 10.
9 out. There's some. I'm mad I was not named something different because I think all I needed was just the name.
Your last name was always going to screw you over.
Actually, that might be a baseball name. Maybe like it's a minor.
We
name.
can work.
That's a minor league name right there.
It's definitely
It's forgettable.
It's a guy who comes up for one game, does okay, and then they have to send him back to the farm because he gets hurt.
Wanted to also say Paul Sewald is that guy, closing pitcher for the Diamondbacks. It's kind of scary. You give that ball to a lot of these relievers and they're shutting the game down. I think he's one of those guys. But now that I say that, Wednesday night when they play in Arizona for the first time this playoffs, and that crowd not seeing a playoff game in a minute, and it's sold out, like 48K, I think that stadium holds. 48,000 people watching that game. It's going to be sweet.
It's going to be great.
And now that I said that, no, he's going to get the ball in the ninth inning, and he's going to blow the lead. So, I think really with this series, and I'll give we can think how it's going to end. Obviously, we already gave our predictions, but and if the Dodgers want a chance, they need their starting pitching, which is lackluster a little bit. I mean, they just don't have the guys, the dogs that they used to have. And they need Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman to turn up and actually start hitting the ball. Yeah. I mean, combined, they're 1 for 8 the second game, 0 for 5. They're 1 for 13 combined in the first 2 games. I mean, it's hard, it's small sample size, but you need your players to hit in October if you're gonna make it.
That's the thing. You need players to hit.
Yeah. And so what do you think with Dodgers, Diamondbacks? How's that shaking out? Do you think sweep in the desert? Desert sweep?
I'm thinking there's going to be a sweep here. I really do.
I'm leaning that way, but every time I say that, the opposite happens. So
I'm thinking a sweep, and I'm thinking maybe Phillies in 4.
Said that really confidently.
Yeah.
You think Phillies?
Feels right.
It's 1-1 in that series, so you think Phillies just go back to Philly? Crowd gets into it and they just close it out.
Yeah,
could possibly be.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm excited to see Harper back in there. Harper and Trey Turner playing together in the playoffs in Philadelphia is going to be sweet. Always is. That's really all the 4 series. I mean, we can. I got some other topics here I want to talk about that I think are cool.
Let's push them out.
All right, sweet. The Fox Sports panel, which is Big Papi, Alex Rodriguez, and Derek Jeter, the captain, versus the TBS panel. Ernie Johnson, who's the guy with Charles Barkley and Shaq on the basketball panel, with Pedro Martinez, Jimmy Rollins, and Curtis Granderson. You watched the Fox Sports panel. Did you? I sent you some videos with TBS.
I watched them too.
Yeah. How'd you like TBS compared to Fox Sports?
I mean,
not for you. It's like not your audience.
Well, what I was gonna say is like, look, Big Papi, A-Rod, Jeter. These are all players that were like when I really cared about baseball.
Those are your stars.
Those were my stars in the era that I really cared about baseball.
That's that for a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, and plus as characters, as people, I mean, they're all interesting and fun in their own way.
Big Papi,
Big Papi, I could watch him do, I think, anything. I could watch that man mow grass. He's so entertaining.
I could listen to him read an audiobook.
I could, or a bottle of shampoo or something. Like, he's hilarious. So, and then you've got Jeter, and, I mean, come on, it's Derek Jeter. It's Derek fucking Jeter. Like, I just don't, not to be a Yankees fangirl here, but yeah, obviously that panel wins.
Leaning more of that one? Well, Curtis Granderson is a Yankee player.
We like to talk about the lore of baseball.
No, he wasn't Yankee. I just lied. What did you say? Sorry, lore of baseball?
No, lore of baseball. The Jeter documentary.
With A-Rod.
And now to see those guys, reconciled and cute and cool. Friends, love it. This is what I want.
Yeah.
And what better guy? As I was listening to them, not to say that these other panelists, I mean, they're also.
Did you actually watch the TBS panel?
I did actually.
Okay,
yes.
cool. Because I want to talk about.
And they had some fun stuff, and I was just gonna say, I'm not gonna say that they're not also good at their job.
But you just like seeing the big 3 there: A-Rod, Papi, and Jeter.
If I have to watch someone tell me about baseball, I want these guys to tell me about baseball.
Yeah. I mean, the panel with Derek Jeter on it. I mean, he was the former front office guy for the Marlins, and Pablo Lopez, the pitcher for the Twins who balled out, he used to be on the Marlins. So he was able to give some really good insight on the type of person that Pablo Lopez is, and he was able to provide some intellectual information about the guy, and obviously the amount of baseball knowledge that they have. TBS has some baseball knowledge too.
No, they do. That's why I'm I'm trying not to say they've got so much.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but again, you're exactly right. Alex Rodriguez, Big Papi, Derek Jeter. I mean, what can be better than that? Nothing name wise. Literally, I mean, what?
Nothing.
Barry Bonds. Babe Ruth from the dead, and Lou Gehrig. You're not if those 3 were on a panel, then they.
Even that. I mean, there are guys.
There
are guys. Well, they're not all the same. There are guys for sure.
No, these guys are the best.
If you'd split it and we were looking at Big Papi on TBS and maybe the Yankee guys on Fox, I mean, maybe then we could have a conversation. But you put all 3 of these guys together on a panel, it's a powerhouse. I don't want to watch anything else.
I'll be honest though, I was watching I really enjoyed the conversation from the Fox Sports crew, but I honestly liked the TBS panel better. And the reason I'm going to say that though is because I was actually laughing at Pedro Martinez.
Yeah,
Pedro is hilarious. He's like,
I don't want to say the
Las Serpientes. Like that's
they're all
in the
very
desert.
yes, they're all very good. But he was the one that I was like, that guy is funny.
And Jimmy Rollins gave some great, like with the Bryce Harper thing, and they had some really good like context to add to baseball stuff, baseball conversations. But no, and Pedro Martinez with this "Who's My Daddy" segment, like the best player of the night. Pedro will do a "Who's My Daddy?"
That's funny.
And he's like, "That's my daddy." He's like, and the Serpientes he's like the Venom.
Yeah, put a tourniquet on that. I was like, what is going on
Pedro's
here?
a hoot, and I just like how they just let him go. And Ernie Johnson, obviously dealing with Charles Barkley and Shaq, he knows how to just let.
They need to.
Go.
There's no other competition than to let this guy be a comedian because the other guys are gonna win.
So when you had the keys to the Twitter account too, you also talked about interviews. How do we feel about interviews mid-game in the dugout with pitchers?
Yeah,
and, like, hitters and all that
I don't like the mid-game interviews.
Yeah,
I don't.
You want to add anything else to that? Like,
do you want, like, how much do you want me to go off?
I don't know. Like, just don't like it.
First thing, okay, look, when you've got a guy, it makes for good clips. Like, who's the guy that I think he was playing short.
No, they don't do that in the playoffs. They don't do it in the playoffs. That's regular season only.
Okay, so we don't want to talk about.
I don't mind that. So she's talking about like actually having the guy mic'd up on the field while the game's happening.
Hate it.
I think it's cool for regular season, like Sunday Night Baseball does that, but playoffs, no, dude, focus on the game. Like, don't let him. I don't want someone talking to you.
Well, and I guess it's more. So now we're talking about dugout interviews then, and the one that comes to mind, or the one that I tweeted about, was the Pablo Lopez one, because we're sitting there, we're waiting to see if he's going to come back out. Obviously, I think everyone was like, they're going to take him out. There's no way he goes back in. But we're all hoping he does. I would say most.
When they interviewed him, they knew he was out, though.
Right. Yeah. So now they interview him, and I'm like, okay, so he's done, because I was hoping he'd come back out, but he's not, clearly.
The manager already told him that, yeah.
And it's like, and to talk specifically about playoffs is like, bro, that was actually like a decent. Once he came out, it was a close game.
Mm-hmm. No, there's a game going on.
So there's a full-ass fucking game going on behind. And I'm not saying I don't want to hear what he has to say. I do. Just not right now. Doesn't need to be in this exact moment. It almost feels like this is a bygone era of when they thought that the games were going to last 5 hours. You have time. Interview him afterwards. You don't need to do it now. Please let me see what's happening. And I felt bad because now I'm like, he's talking. I caught half of what he said because I'm like, oh shit, are they going to score? Like, I'm watching the game that I'm supposed to be watching.
I'm going to disagree because I'm like mixed though, because I feel that way too. It's like, dude, there's a game. Like, let's not, like, let the guy like just sit in the dugout. Like, let's interview him after. And like, there's also pitches being thrown and whatever. If anything, maybe interview him during commercial break. Like, don't go to commercial break. Interview him while the other team is warming up or whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah, but,
I'm okay with that.
But also, like, that works for pitchers. Like, a lot of times the position players are actually preparing like during that time. Like, you don't just shoot the shit. Like, you're watching the other pitcher pitch, whatever, or like looking at the iPads, looking at the reports, that kind of thing, because you're about to go hit.
But it works for pitchers who are coming out because
you're not playing anymore. You're not playing anymore, exactly. So, I mean, we've seen it. They've done pitchers. They've done, like, a quick interview with the hitter right after he hit a home run. Like, oh, what'd you see, blah, blah. And I think that part is actually kind of cool. Like, after Pablo Lopez just shoved, you get kind of, like, an insight into the mind of that competitor. Like, what he's – because that's, like, fresh off. He just finished dominating the Astros. And you get his thoughts right there. And actually, that interview with Pablo Lopez is really cool. So, that's the cool part. But then it's like, you don't want to, like, the important thing is the game, though. You don't want to take away from the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's where I stand. So I'm like, I'm mixed. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. There's also a playoff. Like, there's a playoff game.
I don't understand why it has to happen in that moment. I get it. It's in the moment, but
I think perhaps they planned for the interview to be shorter, but Pablo Lopez's interview was actually so damn good that they just kept it going.
You can also tape it and play it after. You don't need to tape.
They do that. They do that. They used to do that for like some managers and stuff. But like,
right, but you see what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't have to play it live. Like, there's a whole, like, a guy got a hit, and I'm like, is he gonna be out? Yeah. I'm like watching the game, and then Pablo Lopez is telling me stuff that I actually did want to hear. And I'm like, split attention. Don't do this to me.
Other topic I have is just, I mean, not even really a topic, but I just thought the Ken Griffey Jr. commercial with Jim Joyce was funny. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we got different commercials. I don't think I saw
Okay. That. Well, I just think it's cool that Ken Griffey Jr., now you got Jeter on the Fox Sports panel. I like seeing the stars from a couple, last generation stars actually come back for baseball and try to promote it, because that's what we need. I mean, you need dudes that are big names that people recognize. People recognize Derek Jeter. So I
would argue what you need more than anything is personalities. And I don't just mean
Derek
like
Jeter's
you
lack
have...
of personality was like he was the captain. Ken Griffey was a personality. He's the guy who wore his hat backwards.
No, but that's
he
not
was
what
the
I'm
kid.
saying.
What are you saying? Not funny. You
No.
didn't like that?
No, I
Okay,
did
well,
not
then
like
tell me what
that.
you're saying.
Like how well we toned down your personality.
Oh.
No, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, okay, Jeter is who he is, but everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
Like he's got brand recognition.
Like Tom Brady.
Whereas like if you ask, not to throw shade, but if you ask like a normal person off the street who does not really watch, they don't. Yeah. Okay, but the guys on the TBS panel.
Yeah, no, they won't know that. But
that's my point.
They're there for that's. I'm talking about like you don't have every sport only has a couple Tom Brady's. Like Tom Brady is Tom Brady.
Right.
Derek Jeter's Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Shaq
Michael
is
Jordan's
Shaq.
Michael Jordan. LeBron's LeBron. You know, shit like that. Like obviously, Jimmy Rollins. I know who Jimmy Rollins is, but you don't know who Jimmy Rollins is. Mm-mm. No, but you know who Big Papi is.
I absolutely.
You know A-Rod. You know Jeter. So like they have. I just think it's cool to have those guys come back and contribute to baseball. And also like Ken Griffey has just been seen around with like cameras. He has like a media pass, and like his new hobby is just going to different sporting events and taking pictures.
Love that.
I was like, cool, yeah, Ken Griffey. Like, get your baseball face out there. You are like you were good in baseball, so now you are baseball. And anywhere they see Ken Griffey, they see baseball. Mm-hmm. Anywhere they see Derek Jeter, they see baseball.
Right.
So promoting yourself is promoting the sport, and I think that's good. That's really all I have to talk about. That's I guess that rounds up the episode, huh? Unless anything you want to add here.
No. I mean, I'm hoping. Overall thoughts, great start to the series. Let's hope we get some more cans of corn because I'm hungry and I want to eat.
Rooting for some more exciting baseball because if last night was any indication, we had some great games, especially with the Twins and the Phillies Braves. So
yeah,
I guess we'll see you guys next time after these series are rounded up. Maybe some good games and more. Hopefully, no Zach Hample home run catches. I'd say no Zach Hample home run catches.
I don't want to talk shit, but maybe not.
All right. We don't want a war with Zach Hample's people?
No.
Okay. Well, see you guys next time on Stealing Home.
Bye.
I'd like the salute to end it. What's up, guys? It's Anthony and Lisa from Stealing Home. If you enjoyed the video, do whatever they say after they usually end the YouTube videos. What is it? Like, subscribe, follow.
Smash the like button.
Punch it. Headbutt it.
Run over the subscribe button.
Check out the other links. Steal Spotify, I don't know. I actually don't have it. We need to figure out how to set Spotify up.
Click the links.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. If
Are we on Spotify?
Not yet. If you want to see her tweet dumb stuff during the game, Twitter.
Check
it out. The links are somewhere over here.
Links are everywhere.
Click on them.
Click
follow.
on them.
Join the family, please.